otherwise. It probably would have. But yeah, we should get started. So, fifth place on my list. Actually, a game I played. It was like in 2013. So a little bit weird that it makes the list, maybe, since when it comes to old school games, it's a lot of nostalgia and all of that. Uh, but for fifth place on my list, we will have Donkey Kong Country 2. An amazing game for sure. Really like this game. I've actually not played Donkey Kong Country 3. That's a game I should play in the future. But I played the first one. Really loved it. Played the second one even better. The music is great. A lot of great stages. So yeah, that makes it into my top 5 list. At least at the moment. Who knows what happens in the future? But I feel like it's deserving of the number 5 spots.
Yeah, it's so many great games overall. So I feel that it's so many games that we couldn't like. We have to take 5 out of 100 perhaps, or yeah. But okay, so my fifth would be Zero the Kamikaze Squirrel.
Zero the Kamikaze Squirrel.
And the reason why would be because it's a game to SNES, and I remember it pretty well from when we were younger and played, and we didn't have SNES, and I remember this game because it was one of those games that I remember really well, and it was pretty fun. So it's basically a squirrel that going to get his girlfriend from the bad guy. So he's going from each stage. So overall, it has a little bit of nostalgic and like more like how you go through the stage as well. So it's more the
it's a very fast game actually. Like if you're good at the game, it's actually a very fast game. And one random fact about the game, at least we never ever found a solution for that. Yeah. That once you beat the third last boss, you're like in a jetpack. And if you miss your timing of jumping out of the jetpack, you run out of like gas or whatever, and then you go down back to the bottom again, and you can't leave the jetpack, and you need to restart the entire game.
And yeah, remember.
It was so stupid. But overall, it's actually it's a fun game. It's a fun game.
Yeah. And you don't have a save slots or anything, because at NES and SNES they didn't really have it to that many games at least. Very few of them actually have like you could save, have a file or something. But at this game there were no, so you have to finish it or yeah.
Yeah, very true. All right, should we move on to fourth place?
Yeah.
All right, so. The game that made it to fourth place on my list, a very revolutionary game for its time. A lot of people say, one of my favorite games of all time. Period. A game that I want to get into speedrunning, and I bought the console and the game, the NTSC version, very very recently. For me, this game is legendary. Mario 64. The first time you really play like 3D with Mario, it's such a fantastic game. I know some people will say like the cameras, blah blah blah, is horrible, all of that, and haven't aged well. I had a shit ton of fun playing this game, and whenever I've played it, like years and years after its release, I've still had plenty of fun. And even though like from a technical standpoint, it's not up there as one of the greatest, I personally had a lot of fun playing this game, and that's why it makes it on my top 5 list for favorite Nintendo games.
Okay, so the number 4 for me was the first 64 game that I got. It include a character that I always been probably number one of my favorite Nintendo characters of all time. And that game is Kirby 64 Crystal Shards.
Kirby 64.
Yeah, and it's had a lot with the character itself, of course, because Kirby was my favorite Nintendo character, and through the games you have a certain abilities you can do, and it could be kind of creative because you have like two slots with multiples. How to say ability, and combine all of this could make Kirby has even more like different superpowers. That and the storyline sort of itself, it was pretty fun, and I love it when I was younger.
Yeah, you have always been a huge Kirby fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when we got that game. We played multiplayer a lot as well.
Yeah.
Like the two of us and the rest of the siblings.
Kirby and Waddle Dee.
Waddle Dee is amazing.
Yeah.
I love these short little movies. Once you finish like a stage or so, it was so fun. It was so fun. It's a great game for sure. All right. So third place on my list. Wait, let me think. Wait, wait.
Oh, I almost forgot.
Yeah, it's top five. Top five outside of Melee, which also means that we do not include any Smash game because originally I included what is it called? Melee. So I feel like we will use skip Smash games. Period. Smash 64 will make an honorable mention on the list. But yeah, third on my list will be Paper Mario. And this is the 64 version as well. Honestly, for me, Paper Mario on 64 and Paper Mario on GameCube, like both these versions are literally like equally as good for me. I've gone back and forth over the years of which one I like the most. So honestly, Thousand Year Door could be third on this list, but since we're only going to include one game from each series, currently I would say I like the 64 version a tiny bit more.
Yeah.
I feel like, you know, with the stars having like faces and stuff, it gets like more personal. Some of the chapters I enjoy more, and I feel like the lows in the game are not as low as the GameCube version. Some of the chapters in Thousand Year Doors I don't like as much. And then my favorite chapter in Thousand Year Door, the Glitzville, like, you know, when you're trying to get like a higher rank and stuff, I feel like that doesn't have the same replay value once you already know like the secret. I guess like a lot of people figure it out beforehand, but it's still like, you know, a little bit of mystery, a little bit of fun. But Paper Mario, like all the worlds, like I really like it. All the friends you get along the way. It's just like a very, very good game and one of my favorite games of all time. But yeah, it easily could have been Thousand Year Door instead, as I said. So yeah, if the first Paper Mario didn't exist, Thousand Year Door would have third place instead.
Yeah, I agree. Like Paper Mario is definitely an honorable mention for sure. So yeah, but third game for me is a game that I got to Nintendo GameCube, which I have spent a lot of hours, and it's a RPG game. I think it's category like what kind of game it is. And you're going through different worlds and solve a different, like a huge, mysterious itself. It's actually Tales of Symphonia.
Tales of Symphonia.
Yeah, I really like the story and the characters itself, how they develop.
Is it spelled like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
With the connection you have with the people uh, you are going together with, they all have a different backgrounds and the purpose of them and how they all got themselves into this journey. So I really like that game, and I've been playing it that like twice. It's one of those games you don't play too often, but you play them once in a while and like getting remember yourself like the feeling you had when you play for the first time. So it's a obvious choice for me to have Tales of Symphonia.
All right. So we're down to the final two. We're down to the final two. What do you guys feel about our list so far? Do you like my list? Do you like Android list? Are they both trash? Are they both good?
I think
let us know.
Our lists are slightly a little bit unpredictable in a way.
I feel like you have more controversial picks than I have. Maybe not. No, not Tales of Symphonia, but Zero to Kamikaze Squirrel not being a very well-known game, and Kirby 64 is still it's like a sleeper pick, but it's still a good game. Don't get me wrong. I just feel like my list is probably a bit more like how do you say like expected maybe. But yeah, it's so far like I haven't actually played Tales of Symphonia. Don't hate me. So I can't really say anything about that game. But the rest of the 5 games, like they're amazing for sure.
Yeah, something you could see from our list so far is that you're involved more of the typical like Nintendo character itself.
Yeah, that's true.
Mine has a little bit like out of the box, even though Tales might have not been like a Nintendo game from the beginning. I think that they made it to a GameCube because you could play it on PS if I remember correctly, but I included it into this as well. I did that without asking.
Yeah, no, that's fine. It's fine. Like what I originally intended with this was games that have been released to any sort of Nintendo console.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be like a Nintendo only game. Yeah. But as long as it's released on an official Nintendo console, then that's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, we will continue. And this decision was really hard for me, second and first place. But I decided to go with my favorite game from my childhood. One of the games I've played the most outside of Melee. Arguably the game I played the most outside of Melee, actually. I love this game to death. I love the character. I love the stages. I love the bosses, the music. Like everything is just so good. And that game is Mega Man 2. Like here as well, like Mega Man 3 also is an amazing game that also would have made the list. But once again, since we have the rule 1 game per game series at most, I had to pick Mega Man 2 over Mega Man 3. It might come down to the fact that I played Mega Man 2 a little bit more. I liked more of the stages from Mega Man 2. Like the peaks of Mega Man 3 is like as high as Mega Man 2, but once again here, I feel like my least favorite stages and stuff from Mega Man 2 had a clearly higher level than my least favorite stages from Mega Man 3. My overall favorite boss and stage though is actually from Mega Man 3 with Snake Man. You know that Snake Man, favorite stage and favorite music and stuff. But still, like it's so many like Bubble Man in Mega Man 2, the music, like the water, like everything is just so good. Like this game, I'd probably finish it around like 25 times, and I'm not even kidding. Yeah, probably like for a long time. Actually, until I moved out 3 years ago, like 3.5 years ago, I actually finished this game like once or twice every year, at least. And then some years I used to finish it like way more than that. Uh, I actually streamed it once as well for you guys. I'm pretty sure. But yeah, it's a really fun game. If you haven't played it, I can clearly recommend it.
Okay, so my second. This one is it pretty hard to put lists like this, but this game absolutely deserve to be. They will always be on my list, no matter what. Um, the game itself is a game to Nintendo DS. It's begin with you being in a room, and it started getting water into the room, and you have to escape, otherwise you will drown. And after that, you get out of the room and meet eight other peoples here, and all of them have share in common. They have been put there, and nobody really knows exactly why. And there's a strange guy that have kidnapped you and the eight of them for a big purpose. You're playing this game over and over again, and every action you made, a decision you made, will have it will affect the story itself. So you play it over and over again. It's a good music, characters are interesting. All of them has like a huge purpose for being there, and of course it's a 999, or it's called Zero Escape.
999.
Yeah, we can take 999 here. The Zero Escape is the series itself. So like the music and it's a puzzle, so you have to think really through all those rooms you are trapped in. The characters itself is sort of like a mafia round. You don't really know the person, like who are they, why are they here. You know who you are, and you kind of get connection with the characters really good, and all the conversation, and like just the decisions you have to do, and like you getting experience and know and then later on know the purpose why some characters are doing there and what's going on basically. So that's a super good game, and I loved so much that one of my friend Senkai, that he's actually shown me the game because he knew that I love these kind of games. So
Yeah, it
you
sounds
should
like a
definitely
very
play.
interesting concept for sure. All right. First on my list. So, what can I say about this game? This game, how do you say? For a long time, I was actually feeling more and more, not entirely convinced, but I was feeling a little bit more for each year that I probably can't enjoy video games. Maybe Melee, even though like it's my favorite game, maybe it killed my, how do you say, like my spirit for other video games. Maybe I can't appreciate video games any longer. Maybe it's Melee, maybe I'm getting older. I wasn't sure what it was, but I couldn't appreciate a lot of games for many years. And I just kind of accepted that fact. And then actually Android, yo, thanks for resub, dude. Uh, but yeah, so I came to appreciate this game a lot, and it was actually Android that showed me the game, or not the game, this game, but the first game in the series. And the game I am talking about is, as a lot of people in this chat know, that I love Phoenix Wright, Trials and Tribulations, which is the third game in the Phoenix Wright series. By far the best one in the series. Android introduced me to Phoenix Wright in 2013. I was still living at home at the time, and Android was sitting there playing. I didn't really have had anything to do, so I was like, can I join? And we played a little bit. And at first, it didn't really catch my interest that much. I was like, it looks pretty cool. But Android convinced me to start over from the very first case, and I accepted it in the end. And I started playing, and I was like, wait, this is really sick. This is fantastic games. So I kept playing, and the third game is my favorite for sure. So for people that might not have heard about Phoenix Wright or played them, you are a defense lawyer, and your duty is to convince the court that your client is innocent. So it's a lot of thinking, and I've always been interested of like how do you say, like cases like in movies and TV shows, like it's like a murder that's happening and someone needs to solve the case. These kind of things have always uh, been fascinating for me in a sense. So I guess it makes sense that now when I'm the detective myself in a way, it's really fun. So yeah, for people that haven't played it, if you like to use your brain, then this game could be something for you. It's also like a little bit of a combination of reading a book, but you decide the actions. Uh, so it's very good. And outside of Melee, uh, it takes my number one spot. It was still a very close battle between Phoenix Wright and Mega Man 2. Uh, but at least for now, I put Trials and Tribulations as my favorite game of all time. And all cases are amazing, but especially the finishing case is a masterpiece. A masterpiece. And I've rewatched the ending, like the last half or last third of that case, many times. Very fun for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, for me, it's not really a big a surprise. As I praised 999 so much, but it is a lot of games that I couldn't bring to this list. But they will be in honorable mention or always be on the list as well somehow. But at the end of the day, it's also the same game that you are talking about, which is Phoenix Wright Trials and Tribulation. It's starting out with I was playing the first game and I was so interested with the thinking and like problem you have to solve it, and you were a lawyer detecting mafias, aka like the witnesses when they were lying in the court and objection, and just with all evidence you have to think through and like living into the game, which I really love that part. And the story usually be like the story and caring for the characters. So I remember I was at my third case with Steel Samurai, and that was when Adam were asking if he could play with me, and I think I finished the case. But I told him to no, you should start from the very beginning, and he was all right. I do that, and I was sitting and watching him doing all of this and like thinking through all of those puzzles that I already figured out. I wanted to see if he could made it like figure it out, which he of course did. And then after the second and third, we starting at the fourth and fifth together, and then we played all the way to the third. And yeah, we both love it. The only thing with the problem is that like, no, it's actually not a problem, but it's like the game itself is kind of the third game is more appreciated because of a more like a it's really important to play first and second to have much more, then you will appreciate the game, the third game.
Yeah, it's more. Yeah, it's like a trilogy, and if you play the first and the second game, then once you play the third game, a lot of questions that didn't get really answered in the first and second game, it comes to a conclusion in the third game.
Yeah, so basically it's a timeline, a story. So you have to start from the beginning and
yeah,
therefore like keep on going. So yeah, so this list, yeah, seems good for me.
And one more thing I need to say is that the music. I did talk about it a little bit, but I feel like the music often catches the emotions of the player. So when you're fucking someone up, you can hear it on the music. If you just hear the music, you can feel that, alright, someone is getting wrecked over here. You don't even have to play the game. But then when you are playing the game and you hear the music as well, it just catches your emotions as a player really well. So that's another factor that I really like with the game. And yeah, so yeah, this is our top fives, and as we said, not the same series is allowed to appear twice. and no Smash games to like make it a little bit more special, since you guys know that we love Melee. And one more thing also, because some people pointed out that like Phoenix Wright or Mega Man is Capcom, but Andrew and I, we decided beforehand that any game that's been released on an official Nintendo console is a possible option to pick from.
Yeah.
So in case that wasn't clear, now you know that.